It's another interesting time on Atlantic TV. It's Viewpoint, and indeed a program that is designed to keep you abreast with a whole lot of issues that seems to be playing out in the country, and also to not just keep you abreast, but also make you informed and entertained, and indeed start off your day in a very lovely way. I need to welcome you. My name is Michael Gobadian, and like you do know, I'm never alone, especially when we're having such a lovely time. She's always right by my side. Well, I'm talking about no other person but
Mercy Irabo. Thank you so much. I always love the way you introduce me to the show every morning.
Oh, that's nice to hear.
Say you look good.
Well,
today.
Thank you so much. I'm trying to meet up to the trending standard.
All right. Good morning once again, and this is Viewpoint on Atlantic Media and TV. And you know how we do it. We start with the dailies, and we go to the dialogue, the news, and of course the trending. And you know how we do it on trending. And of course, you don't want to miss any episode. You don't want to miss any of the highlights today on this edition of Viewpoint. So we'll be going on the dailies right after this break. Don't go anywhere.
Don't miss out on exciting news, events, and more. Stay connected by following us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at Atlantic Media and TV.
Well, straight to the papers we go, right here on Viewpoint. And for review, as always, we have 5 papers. We have This Day, The Nation, The Guardian, The Vanguard, and The Punch. And you also would know we love starting with The Punch. Let's see if we have our usual major hit right there on The Punch. And funny enough, we do. On The Punch this morning, the leading story reads, Wike camp demands, Wike camp demands ignite fresh PDP feud. And we're talking about the forthcoming convention that is slated for November 15th and 16th of this year. Well, right after that says Makinde camp and party governors, BOT, reject FCT ministers convention conditions, Damagon removal and others. And well, I'll just tell you to get more of that fireworks on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. Let's quickly see if we take some other leading stories at the top marks of the Punch this morning. And one that's exciting to talk about, especially as he addressed the gathering of major political stakeholders yesterday, is that of Mr. President saying our 2025 revenue target met. Funny enough, no more borrowing. Well, excitement it might be for many, but many are also in every way critically examining that view. But page 28 have more of that story. CNG price hits 450 naira per square meter as federal government withdraws subsidy. It's a funny story on page 21. Tariff war, respect states electricity regulators. Federal government wants discos. And you know, all of this is channeled into states now generating their own power. But power that story on page 23 of the Punch. Again, Southwest tops as voters pre-registration hits 2.5 million. And page 7 seems to have more of that story. And remember, we'll be looking at these later on dialogue as we look at the elections and the build up to the 2023 elections and also the issue of governance. But anyway, that's at the top mass of the Punch. Let's see if we take some other leading stories just beneath the major picture of the day. And well, yes, let's take some. 3 laborers, or 3 Lagos laborers, a sad one really, found dead in a makeshift apartment. Is a very disturbing story on page 4 and 5 of the Punch. Atiku slams federal government as bandits sack Kwara village. And that very disturbing story is on page 28. National Assembly cautions WAEC on planned CBT rollout. And we're already having issues with the CBT as it concerns JAM. Would WAEC do a better job? Well, no surprise. The National Assembly seems to think differently. But don't think different about it. Just go and grab a copy of the Punch and page 28 has more of that story. Well, a story that's on page 23, and funny enough, a picture of the day, is custom intercept firearms. That's 4,841 ammunition in Southwest. And well, that's a very disturbing one. And one that many people are already saying, is it a build up to the 2023 elections? Just hold on, we'll look all of that. But that's the picture of the day, and that's the much we can take from the Punch newspaper.
All right, let's see what the nation has for us this morning. The major story here reads, Tinubu, we have met 2025 revenue targets, gained stability. The rider says government diversifying to agri non-oil sector. Abbas Al-Makura leads Buhari's men to pledge support. Well, that story is on page 2 of the Nation newspaper. Let's see, just slightly above the main story, 60-year-old delivered of babies at the ABUAD, that is the Afe Babalola University of Ado Ekiti Teaching Hospital. Well, that story is on page 5, and it's a very interesting story, so you need to read it. Yes, it's slightly above that. BPE to list to disclose Genco on stock exchange. Well, that story is on page 2 of the Nation newspaper. Let's go to the top mass. Shetima to president, I won't take our bond for granted. Well, you can read that on page 4 of the Nation newspaper. Lagos to host electric powerboats championship. Well, it's on page 3 of the paper. Still on the top mass, adjacent varsity lecturers withdraw services over unpaid salaries. Well, you can read that on page 5 of the paper. Nigeria braces for cyber digital diplomacy, says Toga. That's on page 4 of the Nation newspaper. Let's see if we have more at the bottom mass. Wike camp gives conditions for PDP convention to hold, and the rider says group insists on Congress's rule of law. We can't be intimidated, says Bala Mohammed. Well, that story is on page 3 of the paper. Let's see if we'll have more. Ex-IG Arase served with honor, dignity, say Jonathan Ehinthero. That story is on page 4 of the Nation newspaper. And then the picture of the day, yes, that is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's meeting with dignitaries and stakeholders, where he emphasized on Nigerians' revenue achievements and economic stability. Well, that's all we're taking this morning on the Nation. Let's see what the Guardian has for us this morning. Yeah, the major story here reads, Tinubu Palace CPC Group says revenue targets met amid data gaps. That story is on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. Let's go to the top mass. Defense HQ denies armed forces supporting payments of criminal groups. You can read that on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper. Federal government lists 91 public firms for privatization. That is on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper. Dangote refinery exports a first gasoline cargo to U.S. That is on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper. Let's see if we have more at the bottom mass. Enough is enough. PDP governors tell Wiki dismissed to threats to abort convention. Well, that story is on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. ADC accuses Tinubu of nepotism as Atiku decries rising insecurity. That is on page 29 of the Guardian newspaper. Opposition seeks legal redress for Rivers local government poll and irregularities. Well, that is on page 28 of the Guardian newspaper. A continuous voters registration. Osun maintains lead with 74,372 as INEC registers 2.5 million in 2 weeks. Well, you can read that on page 7 of the Guardian newspaper. A court voids mandatory 15-year service requirements for soldiers. That is on page 5 of the Guardian newspaper. Let's see the picture of the day. That's President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So it's more or less emphasizing the main headline here. That is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu meeting with the CPC, that is the Congress for Progressive Change Group, yesterday. Well, that's all we're taking this morning on the Guardian. Let's see what this day has for us this morning. The major story here reads, 2027, the Buhari organization backs Tinubu, declares loyalty. And the writer says, Tinubu says Nigeria has met revenue targets for 2025. No more borrowing. What this means for the Nigeria, President dismisses pressure from Trump's tariffs, stresses commitment to economic stability, food security, and justice. You can read that on page 9 of this day newspaper. Let's see if we have more. Yes, just slightly above the major headline. Wike's team moves to wreck PDP convention, list conditions, governors threaten showdown. The writer says Damagon National Convention, sacrosanct, silence, not act of cowardice. Bala Ahmed, if anyone wants to join a faction of fools, we will allow him. Well, that story is on page 9 of this day newspaper. Let's see if we have more. BPE to list Genco to the schools on stock market through IPO. Keeps identity of companies involved confidential. Well, that's the writer to the story. And that is on page 9 of this day newspaper. Okay, let's see the picture of the day. And yes, the picture of the day that shows the military parade that was held to mark the 80th anniversary of victory in Chinese People's War of resistance against Japanese aggression and world anti-fascist war. Well, that's all we have this morning on this day. Up next is the Vanguard.
Well, talking about the Vanguard, which is next for us to look at, and funny enough, the last paper to review today, the leading story is National Convention, PDP draws battle line with Wike's camp. And well, anyways, a lot of writers to that. Wike camp cites court orders, demand fresh congresses in Anambra, Ebonyi, and the Southeast. Once against micro-zoning of presidential ticket and others. And you can't hold party to ransom, PDP fires back. And DS Wike, Autumn Fayoshi, Piazu, and Gwai, others to form location or faction. And Mohammed Fintri Wabara Damagom talk tough. But anyway, more of that tough gist on page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper. Let's quickly see if we take some other leading stories at the top mass of it. And we have met our revenue. We have met our revenue targets. No more borrowing from domestic banks. And a cheering one from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on page 26. Debt Management Office tells states to prioritize PPP. Now, we're talking about private partnership and not borrowing. And don't borrow that story, but read it up on page 20. World redelineation. INEC under fire, says Ishekiri Nation calls for probe. And you know that has been ongoing for a while. And page 12 seems to have more of that story. Made in Nigerian footwear can be best in the world. As CEO Mona Matthew's shoes. Well, anyway, I'll just tell you, I do believe her. And well, Nigerian footwears are indeed looking really incredibly great. And anyway, just get more of that story on page 21. Let's see if we take some other leading stories just at the sidemass of the Vanguard this morning, if we have any. Or we'll just go quickly to the bottom side. Yeah, state has no excuse not to pay beyond 70,000 naira minimum wage. And this is according to NECA. But I'll tell you to see more of that story on page 9 of the Vanguard newspaper. Visa overstay. US-UK ramp up warnings may bar violators. And please read that story if you do not want to fall victim to that on page 8. Ghana president fires a chief justice over abuse of office. and page 7 has that story. But what is cheering to a whole lot of sporting fans is Eagles camp comes alive as training begins in Uyo, and you can get that on the sporting part of the Vanguard, and that's page 32. But the picture of the day is more of that very meeting that was held yesterday in preparation to the inauguration convention planning committee of the People's Democratic Party that is scheduled to hold on November the 15th and 16th of this year, as they try to see if they put their hearts in order to be more of a viable opposition to the ruling All Progressive Congress. Well, that's the picture of the day, and you can see dignitaries right there. Well, you can see that of the Oyo State governor and a whole lot of other governors like Bala Mohammed and the rest, and all just getting forward towards that convention. Well, anyway, that's the much you can take from that very paper and papers itself. But you do know well, there's a whole lot of talking points, and one that I'm truly interested for us to look at Mercy, is the issue of Mr. President coming out to say, well, yes, we meet our revenue target for the year, so domestic borrowing from our banks will be no more. And indeed, more of a cheering news for Nigerians, knowing that we're up to close to almost 50 trillion in debt as it concerns borrowing, not just domestically, but also internationally. And many people are saying, well, if that is the real truth, then we seem to have been having an economic revival, and reform seems to be working. How much of a cheering news do you feel that is, that will not be borrowing?
Yes, it is a cheering news, but the truth is, are we Nigerians already feeling the impact?
Oh, that's a big question.
So that's the question. It's when we start feeling the impact, that's when we have to believe the fact that we have met our revenue targets for the year 2025. So that's what I feel. If we've not met it, if we are not feeling it, then I don't see any reason why you should make the announcement.
Well, anyway, that's what you feel. But anyway, another major talking point, especially as it concerns the dailies this morning, is the issue of politics. And we do know we'll be having a critical look later on dialogue as it concerns that. And we're talking about the People's Democratic Party, the Wiki camp, and that of Makinde, as many will put it, especially with the exit of Atiku Abubakar from the PDP. It looks as if the battle line has already been drawn. But like I will also say, just stick around, wait for dialogue. We'll be talking about that as it concerns governance. But let me come back to you now, Messi. I know a whole lot of talking points seems to be there, with people saying, is Wike really a member of the PDP or the APC? Because in Rivers State, if you still remember, during the weekend, the APC took major gains, 20 of the 23 local governments in that very state, and most of the persons that were victorious were all from the Wike camp. So the question still remains, is Wike playing the script of the APC in the PDP, or would his stand still be? Your view on that?
He's just on the fence.
On the fence.
He's just on the fence. One leg here, one leg on the other party. So he's, I don't know, I think he's this person that just loves soft landing. Wow. Anywhere that is good.
Wow.
They will say anywhere the left face na front. So I think that's what he's trying to do.
Well, anyway, that's what Mercy feels. And well, it's funny, but yeah, that seems what will be happening now. And well, we're looking forward to that very convention, because many Nigerians are really of the opinion that yes, a viable opposition, it's good for democracy, and it will be good for the country, especially as it concerns some of the policies in action and action of the ruling All Progressive Congress. If we do have a viable opposition, not one that seems to be handling a whole lot of wrangle, especially amongst itself, we might really be doing the right thing. But having a political party that seems to be enmeshed with a whole lot of issues and are being really neck deep into issues is something of worry to a whole lot of Nigerians.
Yeah, so we actually saw in one of the papers that Buhari organization openly declared their loyalty to Tinubu. So what does this really say about the 2027 election?
Well, it's more of a build-up, and the truth about it is that this question has always been on the table of the CPC, that very part of the coalition that gave birth to the APC. And you do know former or late President Muhammad Buhari was an engineer as it concerns that merger that brought him into power way back in 2015. But in the coming of this very administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that faction has always been marginalized. They feel the ACN, as it was with Tinubu's faction, when he came into office now, he seems to have shifted the other side away and have done little or nothing but marginalize them. But with this one now coming, that he has more like bring out an olive branch and brought them to the fold. They are in full support of him. Especially, many felt that he was even trying to bridge the gap when he gave former President Muhammad Buhari a state burial, in every way recognizing not just his achievements and him being a former president, but also a strong political bloc to the alliance that formed the All Progressive Congress. And I feel reaching out to them now is more, like you said, a build up to 2027. They are trying to see how we can get that power bloc, power force that had been in existence, in then clinching power in 2015 and also returning in 2023, and how we can really mend fences before the ADC or the PDP seem to run after that bloc and indeed take the rug off the feet of the APC. I feel it's the right direction.
So talking about this continuous voters registration, yes. I know you did that some time ago on Dialogue. Yeah. So I feel this year it started, or this election, it's starting a bit early. Yes. So do you think this will also not influence younger people? We've had cases of younger underaged coming out to vote and having voters card. So do you think this time around such things will not happen? The fact that they start early and they won't say it's because of pressure, so they were just registering people and all of that. So do you think we'll not have cases like that this time around?
That's something that's in the mind of a whole lot of Nigerians, and especially a reason for concern, especially with the ADC coming out to say, well, they are really not comfortable with the rising numbers of those pre-registered voters that is taking place, especially in the Southwest. They feel some shady deals might have been going on. That's why we're having high rate of persons from the Southwest having that edge over the other part of the country as it concerns this recent pre-registration exercise. Yes, when it comes to underage, I feel a whole lot of things really needs to be done. But starting a bit early could also be more of a blessing, because in case when you see issues like this, it is quickly being brought to the table and being addressed. But I feel INEC still also needs to sit up, do a whole lot, especially as it's not just the pre-registration exercise itself, but also more importantly, the conduct of elections. You could still remember in the last by-elections, a whole lot of issues arose on account of INEC's performance, and many Nigerians are still not comfortable with it. But I'll just employ the Independent National Electoral Commission to do more, especially as it concerns not just the pre-registration, but also when it comes to our elections as a whole. That's my view on that.
Yeah, that's it. But talking about the Southwest having more voters and people are coming, but the truth is we've not really had issues with Southwest. This underage voting, bringing of people that foreigners to vote and all of that. I think those issues are always in the north, not even the Southwest. So I don't think the Southwest having, I feel maybe they just feel this time around we need to go and vote. We don't want to have all of this happening, so we need to speak up with our voters card, and I feel that's why they're registering. I don't see any fishy thing happening in the Southwest though.
Well, anyway, talking about happening, I feel that's the much that can really happen on the dailies this morning. Time is not a friend. But what we'll now do is go on a break, and when we come back, remember, Dialogue will be next right here on Viewpoint on Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV, culturally inclined and uniquely different.
My name is Desoka, the comedy catalyst of one of Nigerian comedy.
Alright guys, back again, yes boss, my name is Osh Baby.
Yemi Alade.
Yeah, what up people, it's your boy Victor Adi.
Girl Ninyola.
My name is my wife, and just celebrity type man.
My papa say, who won't carry cow, waka go, waka follow the cow, I know the life for you.
I see you know you're watching the Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV. Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV.
Informative, educative, interesting, entertaining.
Worldwide, international.
Don't go anywhere, I'll catch you.
Don't touch that die. Atlantic TV. Boom.
Atlantic TV, we wanna party.
Atlantic TV, culturally inclined and uniquely different. When the lights go out, who do you call? Ticado! Ticado Energy Solutions Limited, your plug for electrical power, surveillance system, and entertainment. From expert electrical installation to efficient eco-friendly solar inverter systems, no matter the size, Ticado delivers smart energy solutions designed for today and tomorrow. We also help you secure your space with our cutting-edge security and surveillance system. Enjoy crystal clear entertainment with our professional DSTV and cable TV installation. Visit Ticado today at Block F4, Suite 41 and 42, HFP East Line Plaza, Abraham Adesanya, Aja, Lagos. Or call 0906 902 5025 or 0815 176 6817. Explore our services at ticado.com.ng. Ticado Energy Solutions Limited. Power, protection, peace. Atlantic TV, culturally inclined and uniquely different.
Don't miss out on exciting news, events, and more. Stay connected by following us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at Atlantic Media and TV.
The Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, has warned the PDP, that's the People's Democratic Party, risks serious setback in its 2027 presidential strategy if he opts for former President Goodluck Jonathan or former Anambra State Governor Peter Obi as his standard bearer. Festus Keyamo argued that nominating Jonathan carries a constitutional danger tied to Section 137, subsection 3 of the 1999 Constitution as amended, which he suggested could bar anyone sworn in twice as president from contesting. Again, on the platform. And on Peter Obi, the minister said bringing the former Labour Party candidate into the PDP fold would not solve the party's problem. Rather, the principled one among the obedient will see Obi as going back to his vomit. Well, both Jonathan and Peter Obi has both replied Keyamo to mind his own business, which is governance as minister, and leave other persons and political party to handle their own businesses. With the 2027 general election still 18 months away and the country being faced with a mirage of problems, it is only right that governance should take center stage rather than politics that is constantly being heated up in the country right now. With the People's Democratic Party restructuring and the ADC accusing the ruling All Progressive Party of incompetence, and the APC also ready to reply in every kind, many Nigerians are worried with what this would mean for the country as it looks towards the 2027 elections, and even are more worried of the lack of governance while the political class are going at each other's jugular. Well, a look at all of this is what will take center stage on the show today. And we're talking about the place of governance as a build-up to the 2023 general election. And that's what, 2027 general election. And that's what we're looking at as a major discourse today. We're looking at politics being on the front burner rather than governance. And many are already questioning, is that the right way to go? But anyway, we're going straight deep into the discourse, and to help us look at the issues today, we have no other person but Comrade. I always tell him I'll call him Comrade. Dewa Gidigbe is of the value to bet and also the push for sustainable democracy in the country. Good morning, sir, and welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Well, you do understand with my introduction, we'll be looking critically at the issue of governance as it concerns Nigerians, especially as we're seeing a whole lot of complaints and a whole lot of political drama being played out in the country at the moment. And in support of my very introduction, and in a way to indeed help us deep into the discourse today, is what also transpired yesterday during the inauguration of the 119-member Convention Planning Committee by the People's Democratic Party, where we saw that governors under the platform are already drawing the battle line against the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, as it concerns the convention, the National Executive Council convention that is slated for November 15th and 16th this year. So it's more like they are now living, because they are really strategizing and seeing how they will clinch all the elective officers that will definitely be on board come that. And it's a clear indication of what our discussion is, that all of them, both the governors and the Minister of the FCT, seem to have thrown caution to the wind, seem to have thrown governance away, and are just dealing with politics. So my concern, or rather my question, is how serious is this? And does this call for real concern as it concerns governors taking the backstage and politics coming on board at the moment when we still have 18 months to the general election in 2027?
Yes, once again, thank you for having me. A quick response to your question is that it's a serious concern, and it should be a serious concern to every Nigerian, because 26 years of unbroken democracy, the highest form of it we have had since independence, it gives one cause to worry. That 26 years of an unbroken democracy, our actions and ill actions are tilting us towards a failed nation. Whereas we ought to be progressing election cycle by election cycle, but the reverse is the case here. So why? Why? The why question will take us to where we should be. Proper answering of the why question. Now look at it. Most time when I see political gladiators come on screen, you know, to push their offshoots, I wonder whether once you become a politician or you are in government in Nigeria, your sense of reasoning before you became a politician or before you became appointed are taken away from you. And you are worn a coat, a cloth that is different from who you are. That's what I see. And it's worrisome. Now, democracy is a practice we borrowed from Western clime.
Yeah.
The question I do ask politicians or public office holder most time, is this the way democracy is practiced in the clime for which we borrowed it from?
No.
And the obvious answer is no. Okay, let's even now come to think of it that yes, we should do our homegrown, democracy, which I also encourage.
Which is tailored towards our style of things.
Our style of things.
Yes.
I encourage it. But the way we carry it out, is it in the interest of the people for which the government of democracy is seated upon? The answer is no. Now, if people get elected, either by hook or crook, and they are sworn into office for a tenure of 4 years, for local government 3 years, as the case may be, then on the first day of office, they are already planning for the next election cycle. Whereas the purpose of being sworn in, which is governance, for the period under review, is left at the back seat. And politicking for the next tenure takes center stage. That is why it's worrisome. And it should be a source of concern to every Nigerian. Now, what could be a way out of that? It's also critical. It's not enough to now highlight the problems. What do we now do to get out of those problems? I situate it on the part of the citizens of this country. They owe this country a duty at all times, no matter the devastation they face, no matter the hardship they face, call it any name, they owe this country a duty to ensure that they hold every one public office holder accountable for his action or inaction. Until we learn to do that meticulously, we are not ready to get out of this. Because come to think of it, you mentioned the PDP governors yesterday squaring it up with the Wike camp on the need for their convention to hold in November, and Wike is thinking otherwise. And now that's bringing them into the jugular. Now, Wike is a current minister, a PDP man serving in an APC-led federal government. He's still telling you that he's a PDP man, ab initio. Then his actions are telling you clearly where his heart is. So, he's squaring it up with his own party that he vowed not to leave while he was governor of Rivers State. That no matter what, come rain, come sunshine, is there in PDP. And is using that as a bait. Then, of course, the PDP governors felt, no, we must salvage our own party. It's a party that has brought us to where we are, we must salvage it. And they are doing everything to see how they can salvage it. Now, for the time Wike will be calculating how he can master or how he can, twist his people. Of course, the game of politics is a game of, outwitting one another, maneuvering and scheming, which they are both doing. But while they are doing that, governance is taking a back stage. For those governors, they will be having meetings, ceaseless meetings, to see how, the push comes to shove. Then for Minister Wike, he will also now be concentrating on how he can outwit those people. That point in time, they are not so governing, Nigerians in line with their oath of office they have taken. So it's a major challenge. Take it back from the federal to the states. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Everybody is talking about 2027, whereas they've not even done a 1/3 of what is expected of them in an administration, a 4-year term administration that they ought to do well. And they are doing well, we easily now bring them to limelight with the people. For example, in our parlance here, in our local adage here, they say it is the news of the market that attracts people to the market. what the quality of produce that are traded in the market, that's what attracts people. That's what politics governance should not be.
So all in politics, they should think more of governance, which be more of a yardstick for people to now get them elected.
Absolutely. That is the way, and that's the consciousness we must begin to create in the heart of our citizens.
Okay, now talking about that consciousness, because as much as we talk about this, whether we like it or not, these people are still playing politics. And it will take more than just mere words to get them back on board. It is obvious. It looks as if, like I said in my introduction, 18 months for them is just like 18 days from the elections. In all honesty, with all that seems to be happening. So I want us to really walk the path in our discussion. And looking at the walking the path in our discussion, let's really look at, do you, in your own honest view, feel there's unnecessary heating up of the polity as it stands? And the reason I will ask this question is, look at what Festus Keyamo said just a couple of days back, where you are warning an opposition party not to do this. So let's look at it. Do you feel utterances that is coming left, right, and center is unnecessarily hitting the polity, that is making them deal with the issues rather than dealing with governance? Let's look at it.
No, for Festus Keyamo is known. He's good at throwing tantrums at all times. So that's his talking trade. I mean, perhaps that's also what has brought him that office. So he's good at doing a lot of those kind of things. Yeah, yeah. For me, it's needless for him to be going that route. You have a whole lot of job that is cut out for you. For example, Festus Keyamo is from Efru here, and we have an Osubi airstrip there that is lying fallow. He should be thinking more of how he can bring development to his people using his office as the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development. So where is the development he's bringing back home? When you leave things that will better the loss of your people much more, you're going to play politics with everything that happens. For me, with due respect to him, I really do not see any light in what he's doing. Now, he should leave the party machinery, the publicity secretary of APC, to be taking opposition parties to the cleaner, while he saddled himself with the day-to-day governance of aviation, a ministry that has so much, baggage that he's trying to deal with today. And of course, I mentioned it clearly that it's worrisome and worrisome for somebody living in Warri. You cannot get a flight from here to Abuja. You have to travel from here to Asaba to fly. That should be a major concern for him to do. And he's done over 24 months in government. So do you need 24 months to revamp, call it an alien airstrip, or transforming an airstrip into a national or international airport? So he should be more concerned with things that will bring development to the downtrodden, to his own constituency, and by extension, the Nigerian state, and not, throw jabs at every slightest opportunity he has to talk to the people. So for me, he should be mindful of day-to-day governance with regards to his ministry and how that can transform, Nigeria. And by extension, that will present his employee, as it were, Mr. President, in good light, in good stead for the next election. That yes, the man did this, for instance, in aviation industry, this and this and this were done within the time Tinubu became president, and that's the reason why he should come back. Those are the things that ministers and appointees of government should be doing in the overall interest of how people can now, see their own president or governor, as the case may be, so that they can be re-elected for the next time.
Okay, now, just as much as we were talking about this, it's also right to emphasize that we're looking at what seems to be happening at the moment, and it looks as if there's a whole lot of political drama and play rather than governors coming or taking center stage, especially as a build-up to the general elections. Yes, we've had a whole lot of utterances coming out from political gladiators, as being said by Comrade Dewo. But let's look at one of the problems that seems to be embedded in political parties and how that seems to be bringing that unsettlement, especially as it concerns governance. Because irrespective of whether we believe it or not, when there's this unsettledness, especially among those political players, governance will definitely always take a second fiddle. So let's look at them. And I want us to look at it one after the other. Now, we do know the three major political parties as it stands is the All Progressive Congress, which is the ruling party, the People's Democratic Party, which prides itself to be the largest party in Africa and the leading opposition party, and the new ADC that is also having their feet a bit on the ground on the mining. A lot is still in the making. And
you should also add Labour Party.
Oh, please, and the Labour Party, do forgive me if I do not also emphasize that, but the question still remains, is the Labour there or the Labour in ADC? Well, all of that questions will come later. Let's start. I feel it's only right we start with the APC. Now, all of this is, all that's happening is just a build up on who becomes the flag bearer of the different political parties in the 2027 general election. And like I said, let's start with the All Progressive Congress. Because as we do know, early this year, they came out to say President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who is the president as it stands, is the sole flag bearer of the party. But just last week, to be precise, they also came out to say that every other person are free to contest for president on the mind they've given that endorsement to Mr. President. Now, this seems to be raising a whole lot of doubts, especially among strong power blocks in the APC, which we're no surprise to see Mr. President discussing with the CPC faction of the APC just yesterday to tell them, please come on board. Don't feel marginalized. Undermining former President Muhammadu Buhari is no more. You are still a part of it. But my question now is, do you see a change at the end of the day on who becomes the flag bearer? Or we are just playing politics? Or rather, they are just playing politics? Let's understand that.
Okay, very good question. And speaking to the realities of the today.
Please, I would like the realities of today.
Yes. When you look at the possibility of another, aspirant clicking the candidacy of APC at the national level, it's more like an impossible voyage.
Impossible?
Yes, it's more like, it's an impossible voyage in the scheme of events today.
Okay.
Yeah, I say so because, President Tinubu has mastered the turf to the extent that you could even give it to him that he has already worked 2027.
Okay.
At the party level.
Okay.
Now, the U-turn that seems to have come last week from the new chairman of the APC,
yes,
saying that yes, whereas there's an endorsement for Mr. President, who has the the right of first refusal,
of course,
before any other consideration, the gate is still open because it becomes a constitutional issue when you shut out every other person.
Okay.
Oh yes.
Okay.
Because the rights to be elected, to aspire, will not be infringed upon. And that is a ground for which whoever feels offended by that can go to court. So that's where that U-turn came from. That's where that U-turn came from. And it's a proper U-turn that must be done for somebody that believes in this
pure democracy.
Pure democracy.
Yes.
And what can happen in politics.
Yeah.
Because in politics, it is not over until it is over. So, to that extent, that's why you are seeing that. But having said that, what you may just see in the APC may be a smoke screen of aspirants, of primaries. But the real thing is done, which was why I said at the initial stage that you can give it almost to Mr. President that he has already secured the candidacy for a second coming because of his mastering the game. And also, if you see the body language of even the members of the APC today, it seems to, be taking them one after the other. And this meeting of the CPC yesterday speaks to that wholly. And this morning I listened to the former Minister of Aviation, Serika, talking about, he was talking tough almost against the government of Tinubu a while ago. But yesterday was part of that delegation. And listening to him this morning, I saw him, change his goalpost almost in the middle of the game. And he's saying, so that is what politics, that's what the kind of politics that we practice in Nigeria. Now,
politics of convenience.
politics of convenience, politics of self, at the expense of the people. Whereas politics is a game of the people. But the gladiators have so personalized it, they use the people to get into the office and abandon them for the next 3.5 years. Then in another 6 months to the next election, to the next this thing, they come close to them. And our people are not learning. That's my worry. That's why my emphasis is more on the citizens.
Okay, now, as much as the emphasis are there, whether we like it or not, just like what you said, the politics will definitely play out first before the people even come second in their thoughts of scheme. Now, we've just talked about the APC. Now, the PDP is now becoming a bit interesting. And the reason they are becoming a bit interesting is former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has left the PDP, which has indeed opened up the door for more people to really come on board and in every way settle the rancor that have really bedeviled the PDP for years. Now, another major interesting factor that is making the PDP also look interesting to look at, especially as a build-up to the 2027 election, is the issue of them wooing former President Goodluck Jonathan and Peter Obi into the fold to see if they will be their flag bearer. Now, I want us to first start with Jonathan, which has indeed raised a whole lot of dust since that news broke out that he is being wooed and getting that very funny reaction from Festus Keyamo. But my question, on the mining, he has responded, Festus Keyamo, to say, let me be, I'm still consulting, and I'm still very eager to see whether I'll come back. Do you see former President Goodluck Jonathan accepting the stick? And what would that entail for him?
Well, for me, in all honesty, and with the respect I have for former President Jonathan, it should just be doing its international and national, peace builder that he's doing. It serves him better. You've been in government from the states down to the presidency. Yeah. There are sometimes, politicians will bring ideas your way for their convenience, not for you. Yeah. That's the game of politics.
And they'll leave you on the road.
To your fate. When the chiefs come to show, then you are on your own at that point. So for former President Jonathan, who has gotten endorsement globally,
as a peace
globally
builder.
As a peace builder, the appointment he got recently at the international level. Those are the things he should be savoring on, not coming back here. What does he live in Aso Rock that he wants to come and do? He's been president for 5 years. 1 year completing the other tenure, and he has done 4 years. He wanted to come back, he was knocked out. That's enough. That's enough. He should use the experience now to begin to enthrone democracy wherever he finds himself. So if he has even said he was thinking about it and he will get back, he doesn't need to think about it. He should appreciate those people who want him to come back for believing in him so much. But that look, he wants to move on and let him move on. That's on former President Jonathan. Then for PDP, the possibility of considering Obi, PDP have shot themselves on the foot since 2023. Okay. When they insisted that Atiku must be their flag bearer. That's where their problem, implosion began from. Okay. Which is why people must be careful in the decisions they take. If you take decisions because of the convenience of the now, forgetting what the future holds in that decision, then you are in for a shocker of your life. And that's what PDP is suffering from today. So I think that, among other things, they should look inward. Look for other Nigerians that are credible. If they are looking for a credible candidate who will now run their party,
but Peter Obi is credible.
I'm telling you. Peter Obi has moved from, he has crisscrossed several political parties. So some people are even describing him as a political harlot. Today you are here, tomorrow you are there, next tomorrow you are there. So those are not the characters you are looking for. Nobody says you, Michael Gobadia, cannot be president of this country. What do you need to be a president?
Of course.
You need your character, your integrity, the quality that you come with, your ability to stand the tough when it matters most. Those are the credentials that makes you a president. Educational qualification is not much of an issue in becoming the president of Nigeria. Yeah. Not to talk of somebody who have a BSc, a basic now that you can even use. So it's not that, if it is not this person, then it cannot be any other person. No, they must be able to do a proper, analysis of How do we come out? Because Nigeria want to see new things. Not this, recycling of these old baggages. Some of these characters are spent already. They are spent forces. There's nothing much new that they are bringing in. Instead, go and tap for those new Nigerians that have something to offer, but they've not gotten the opportunity to be in the saddle to offer those, potentials that they carry. It will be better for PDP. Instead of running in circle, pursuing Jonathan, pursuing Peter Obi, and the likes. Now, when they were sticking to Article 2023, it didn't cross their mind that Atiku is always to be here or to be here tomorrow. If he doesn't favor him here, he crosses. If he doesn't favor him here, he crosses. He doesn't have any regret doing that. And you have your platform, give it to such person. What has become of them? He has voted away. He has left them now. They are licking their wounds. The same thing that made for the implosion of PDP today, that is difficult to come out of it now, is where they are going into again. Shopping for somebody to come, and at the end of the day, if he doesn't succeed, the person go, and the party is now licking his wound each time. So I think that for PDP, those people who still believe in the spirit and letter of PDP, among their founding fathers like they call themselves, they should sit back. Even if they can't get a serious candidate in 2027, let them plan for 2031. Let them put machineries in place. It's only in Nigerian leadership that strategic engagement is not put in place. We just garbage in, garbage out as it comes. As it comes. When we get there, we'll take care of it. But in the Western world, there is a strategy. There is a plan of action with a strategy to match. And now it is in the implementation of that strategy that there will be some modifications because of the dynamics of things that are happening. That is how best clients run. And those are the things we need to bring back to here, because Nigeria, the most populated nation
on the
planet today. That should be advantageous to us and not disadvantage.
Now, talking about this, well, in case you're joining us, it's a dialogue, and we're talking about governance, especially as politics seem to have taken center stage to the build-up of the 2027 general elections. And we're looking at we're talking about both the political parties, we're looking at everything that seems to be, and that's what we are doing, because we need to also look at these opposition parties, knowing that they are the ones that will definitely bring light to the ruling party in every way, make them sit up, because if you have a viable opposition party, you most certainly would have a very secured rulership, especially as it concerns the ruling party, because always the opposition will always be on their neck. Hence the need for us to look at this, hence the need for us to talk about this, hence the need for us to really critically look at it as it concerns governance. And like I said, we still have no other person but Comrade Dewo Egedebe helping out with the discussion. Yeah, we've just talked about the People's Democratic Party and the All Progressive Congress. Let's come now to the ADC. Well, they seem to also be having their share of issues, especially knowing that who you talked about a while ago, Atiku Abubakar, is vying to be the presidential flag bearer of that party. And not just only that, we're also having no other person, but former Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amechi, is also a major force here, still vying for the presidency, especially as he thinks that it's the turn of the South and it should not go the way of Atiku. And we still have Peter Obi here. So there's a whole lot of rancor, and I'm not surprised that there seems to be because of the power blocks there. But my question now is, would there be an easy come in the ADC? Or do you feel there will be a political explosion, especially as being thought of by Modu Sharif when he was asked the same question, that he feels the ADC will just have a political explosion at the end of it, knowing the power blocks that is there? Let's look at the ADC.
Okay, so let me say this. As a civil society leader in this country, I was invited to a meeting in Abuja, February this year, on strengthening democracy in Nigeria.
Okay.
And in that meeting, the first and second day, I sat behind Rotimi Amechi in that meeting.
Okay.
The likes of Atiku Abubakar, Rufai, all
more like the power blocks of the ADC now.
Yes.
Yeah.
We were all there for 2 days. looking at the issues of democracy in Nigeria, the former vice president of Ghana was the guest speaker on the first day, and the issues were clear. Now, a section, there are several panel sections that took place.
Okay.
A particular section, questions were thrown at many of these characters. I don't want to mention their name. And they were asked a simple question across that you were, of course, you were a minister for 8 years. So what did you do with the 8 years as a minister? That Nigerians can now trust you, that you want to be a president. If the candidacy falls on you. The man danced to the right, danced to the left, and of course, the question was not answered. It was not answered satisfactorily. Now, the point I'm making is this. Then, the issue of ADC has not come up. But thereafter, meetings, they begin to hold other several meetings, and there was the coming of ADC some months back. When you ask whether there will be implosion,
yes,
or otherwise,
yes,
there will be clear implosion. Because every of those gladiators there wants to be the candidate of the party.
So Modu Sheriff is right.
No, absolutely right. I listened to his interview.
Yes.
I watched his interview. He's absolutely right. Because you know Atiku. If it is not him, then he shouldn't work. That's one. Then, of course, Rotimi Amechi is also angry seriously.
And this is the turn of the South.
And if this is the turn of the South, and that he should have it. Of course, El-Rufai is there.
Yeah.
Then Peter Obi is neither here nor there with regards to the ADC stuff. So you see people who are squaring up for that candidacy of the ADC already. That will make things always fall apart. But if they were able to place self to the background and put Nigerian first, it doesn't matter who emerges. Once that idea is marketed and is penetrating, that's where they will have a one voice to speak. But this one, that if it is not me, it cannot be anyone else, they are not going anywhere. Which is why APC seems to be seeing an easy ride in 2027. Because there's going to be so much fight in the supposed opposition. If the opposition could come together, in quotes, and say, we against APC, that's where they could have some level of, things, something to bite in 2027.
Okay, now, I want us to still remain on our discussion and still remain with the ADC. And one that's already troubling Nigeria, we're talking about a build-up to the elections, and we're talking about governance. And in all of that, we're more concerned also with what will definitely happen in 2027. And that's why we're also having all of this. Now, forgive me. On Saturday, the 30th day of August, in Kaduna, there was supposed to be an inauguration of the ADC, which ended up in chaos and a whole lot of drama, attacks, thuggery, and all of that. And not only that, El-Rufai was screaming out on top of his voice, accusing the ruling party of the state as being sponsors of that very action. Now, my question is, does this portray what we are now going to expect in 2027? Absolutely. A dangerous signal indicating where these will definitely go. Because what we are talking about, we're talking about build up to the elections. We know governance has taken a second stage as it concerns all of that. But what we are really also concerned of is the 18 months to the elections. We're already experiencing this. I want your reaction to this. How unhealthy is this?
It's seriously unhealthy. And it's a very dangerous signal. What you saw in Kaduna,
yeah, excuse me,
days back, it's not just going to happen in Kaduna. Expect that across the 36 states of the Federation. Yes. That fracas was political.
In all indications.
From all indication, it was political. It was politically motivated. You know, the way we play our politics in Nigeria, it marvels me. It marvels me. For crying out loud, if you have a program, market the program to Nigerians. Fairly and squarely, let Nigerians see whether the program will serve their interests or otherwise. You don't need to import, import things to stigmatize people, to make people, fear you so you can rule them. No. Tell us what you have. Let there be some level of intellectual engagement, objective criticism. Let all of these, your antics, let them come in to make the body politic a well-organized stuff. Not this using the government of the day to want to thwart every opposition. It's not the best. We won't get the best out of all of those kind of...
And should that be the way? Should governance not be a yardstick to let people know that, yes, this is what I can do rather than...
That's exactly what I've said. Because anything short of that will be taking us running in circle. We are not making progress. Whereas we ought to have made progress. Remember, don't forget my introductory statement.
Yes.
We've had democracy for 26 years uninterrupted. The highest we have had it is 65 years. By next month, Nigeria will be 65.
Yeah.
I'm inviting your platform because we are doing our annual dialogue lecture on the 1st of October, where we'll be looking at Nigeria 65.
Oh, we'll love to hold that.
Democracy. Then, of course, the human right protection. Okay. And the next 25 years, that's what we'll be looking at on the 1st of October.
That would be great.
So, because we need to situate all of this in context. Are we just existing, or we are existing to make impact? So that when we have long gone, many years after, then we can be remembered for those things that we're able to bequeath to our generations, coming after us. Should this not be discussed? Should it be, when I get the power, I will be able to attract all of the things to myself, and one day you sleep and you are no more? Does it really make sense? So, conscientizing the mindset of the Nigerian citizen becomes the new thing that we should be driving at. Let's have this, this royalty mentality syndrome, where you grab it and grab it and grab it and grab it and run with it. No. We should live and let's live. That is where we can have it in the best way that we can. So, all of those upheavals happening in states, whereas we still have some time of governance that left. State machinery should give their concern to. Rather now, they are pursuing politics of 2027, and the one that is in their hand, they are yet to deal with it decisively. So I think a change of heart is necessary for the political gladiators. Okay,
now we're still going to remain there, because as much as you've talked or highlighted about this problem, a solution to deal with, in our local way, you recover when you discover. We've now discovered this problem. And even a support to this is, we do know on the 21st day of August, Thursday to be precise, the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, came out in strong terms to say, well, yes, the new upsurge in optics of violence is just more like a build-up to the 27 election, and he feels it's a design by the political class to either talk down on the achievements of this administration, or in every way, just like you see, twist the opposition. But whether we like it or not, it's still the common man will always be at the receiving end at the end of the day. So what do you need to be by not just this administration alone, but by those saddled with responsibility ensuring peace and stability, especially the security force? What should be the approach that should be taken now to deal with that we do not, like you said, experience these scattered across the country close to the 2027 general elections? What needs to be done now?
Okay, now let me speak.
Because we're still talking about governance.
Yeah, let me speak to the security operators in this country. There is something that is happening in the security circle that is unbecoming. And it should be addressed. The security agencies are professional agencies that have professional ethics. professional rules and guidelines that governs them. But today, there are more politicians than being professionals.
I will plead with you, Comrade Dewegedibe. We need to go on a quick break now. But when we come back, we'll continue our discussion centered. And I'll make you to really help us land on these issues because it's very critical as we look at the general elections and look at bad governance. But let's quickly go on a break. We'll come back and have more discussion.
Make it out.
Atlantic TV, culturally inclined and uniquely different.
My name is Desoka, the comedy catalyst, one of Nigerian comedy.
All right, guys, back again. Yes, boss. My name is Baby.
Yemi Alade.
Yeah, what up, people? It's your boy Victor 80.
Girl Niniola.
My name is my wife Naija Celebrity type man.
My papa say, who won't carry cow, waka go, waka follow the cow. I know the life for you.
I see you know you're watching the Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV. Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV.
Informative, educative, interesting, entertaining.
Worldwide, international.
Don't go anywhere, I'll catch you.
Don't touch that die. Atlantic TV. Boom.
Atlantic TV. We wanna party.
Atlantic TV, culturally inclined and uniquely different.
Don't miss out on exciting news, events, and more. Stay connected by following us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at Atlantic Media and TV.
Well, I need to welcome you back, and we're still with the major discourse today. We're talking about governance, especially as it looks as to be taking a second seat as build up to the 2027 general election, especially with political players really gearing up for that very elections and seem to be pushing governance to the back seat. Well, all of that is what we're still looking at today on the show. And like I said, we still have no other person but Comrade Dewegedibe helping out with the discourse. Before we went on the break, we were talking about the need for more to be done, especially as it concerns security agencies, in nipping deeds early, especially to the build-up of the election, especially with what the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, said just on the 21st of last month, where he indicated that, in all honesty, the recent surge as it concerns violence in the country is all geared towards the build up to the 2027 general election. So, yeah, you were saying the security agencies need to do more.
Yeah.
And in doing more, what should that be?
Yes, in doing more, what I meant is they should be more professional than being political. Yeah, because chance today,
Okay.
as we have them,
Okay.
more politicians than being professional. Right out loud, our professionals in the security, majority of them,
Yeah.
they are playing the cards of politicians, leaving the professionalism to the background.
Okay.
That is, when the government of the day, either at the federal or the state level, is interested in the thing, that is the line they will toe.
Okay.
So leaving citizens at a very precarious state.
But are they not their paymasters and naturally would
No, it
just know?
shouldn't be. That's why they are professionals. They were trained in the art of security. They were trained in the art of security. In identifying crime, managing crime, busting crime for a peaceable society.
Irrespective.
Irrespective of those in government and those not in government. Because we are all equal before the law. Today we have security agencies that don't have respect for the judiciary. Especially when a politician is behind it, or when a money bag is behind that action. I presented a paper to a very top senior military brass at some point, some years back, and I said this, that look, the moment you veer out of your comfort, you are exposed to danger, you are exposed to hazards, and that's what you are saying. Today, from all indication, we have our military spread all over. I think it's only one state that you don't have them around the country today. Whereas they are supposed to be at the barracks, responding to issues of concern that affect our territorial integrity. But today, the everyday, security, military are brought into it. Why? Because of political expediency. Yes. So when they need to deal with something decisively, professionally, within the best practice as it should be, political consideration will override those professionalism. So that's one serious hotspot that we need to address. It's not enough, with due respect to the Chief of Defense Staff, it's not enough for him to come and say, tell Nigerians that, this is happening, this is not happening. There are so many unprofessional actions of the security agencies today. They are trying their best, no doubt, but their best is not good enough for Nigeria. We ask them to up their game and be more professional than being partisan. They are too partisan for the comfort of Nigeria as it is today. So that's number one. Then politicians should learn to play politics by serving the interests of the electorate that ever, bequeathed the office to them to go and represent us and give us good governance. That should happen. Then for citizens must speak. They must not be gagged under any guise. Citizens must speak truth to power. So if there are things that are not happening right in your domain, feel free, because the freedom of expression is contained in our Constitution. Chapter 4, sections 33 to 43 gives us all of those inalienable rights that we have in this country as citizens of this country. So let nobody try to trample upon your right. At that point, shout. Everybody will die someday. It's the date and time we don't know. But we must learn to speak truth to power. With due respect to whoever is concerned. But in saying that, we must be constructive. We must not throw jabs because you don't like somebody's face. If he has done well, thumbs up for him. But if he has not done well, feel free to and be courageous enough to state it the way it is. If we are able to practice all of this, I tell you, we will just be getting out of the woods that we are in today. Because some people brought us here. It will take the courage of some Nigerians to take us, navigate us out of this deplorable state that we find ourselves today.
Well, anyway, that state of how things are is the reason we're having this discourse. And we're talking about the issue of governance. And we've traced all our hinge, or rather, we traced all the issues and hinged it on the issue of governance taking the front seat rather than taking the back stage, especially as a build up to the 2027 general election. Should more be done, especially as it concerns the ruling class, in giving democracy back to the people, and in all of that good governance to the people is a question or should they also up the ante, especially as we prepare 18 months to the elections and we're already having a heated one, especially as it concerns a rivalry and opposition and also the ruling party? Yes, but on a final note before we go, I really want you to give a final word, especially as it concerns governance, and a word of advice to that of the political class on what needs to be done now, rather than shift and put all in the basket of who would become who when it comes to 2027.
Thank you. So my final note word for Nigerians in this conversation is that, look, Nigerians should open their eyes wide.
Okay.
To open it wide, because there are characters that want to further suffocate Nigerians. Such characters, Nigerians should identify them and wait for them at the ballot. You wait for them at the ballot. And in waiting for them at the ballot, there are things that Nigerians must do. The continuous voter registration is ongoing.
Yeah.
Those that are of voting age or those that have issues with their voting materials should ensure that they perfect it within the window that is provided, so that they can arm themselves on election day and vote out every unscrupulous element and voting people of character that can best navigate Nigeria out of this wood. Let nobody cry foul, because when you are an onlooker, you are more disastrous than even the person that is you think that is doing you. So we must find a way to get those people out by our franchise, by the right that we have to determine who governs us. If you refuse to participate, for the few people that participate, we enthrone somebody that will govern you. Don't lament at that point again, because you reserve the right to determine who should govern you, and you slept over your rights. When you sleep over your rights, you lose it. But when you stand up for your right, you have your right with you. So Nigerians, we should wake up, we should be more seasoned, we should be driven as citizens of this country. And let's wish Nigeria well at all times, because Nigeria is one of the best nations in the world today, and we are privileged to be Nigerians. So let's make the most of our stay as Nigeria. Thank you.
Well, anyway, I feel we've made the most of our talk, especially as it concerns this on dialogue, and I will really need to thank no other but Comrade Dewa Gediwe is of the Value Rebed Center right here, trying to bring more value, especially as it concerns governance, and indeed our political class doing the needful. But the needful thing or the right thing for us to do is to thank you very much for joining us on the mind your busy schedule. You need to come to the call of adding your voice, especially as it concerns basic issues in the country. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure.
Well, anyway, it's more of a wrap right here on our dialogue, and you do know it's always on from 9 to 10 every lovely weekday on our Viewpoint on Atlantic TV. But I'll tell you to still remain with us because the news will come around the hour. And well, anyway, it's trending. No, not me. Trending will definitely come after that, and it's still Viewpoint on Atlantic TV.
I am SP Dafe Bright, and this is Delta State Police Command. Today we'll be treating and addressing an issue that's different from what we've been doing before. Not parading suspect this time, but bringing to you a very important information. Do we know that over 85% of Nigerians do password their phones, whether it's Android phones or iPhones? There's always a password. But how come when we lose our phones, by the time we go to retrieve our lines, we'll go to our bank to check our bank statement, we discover that these people who collected these phones must have siphoned the phones. Now, there are times the people who steal these phones, it is not your phone that they actually need. What they need is your SIM card. Now, how does the SIM card become useful to them? Not just any SIM card, but a SIM card that is linked to your bank account, the one that you usually use to receive SMS alerts. That is what they need. Now, by the time they collect your phone, steal your phone, rob you of your phone, what they do is that they remove this SIM card from your phone and insert it on another phone. So your phone does not really need to power on. They don't even need you to give them your phone password. They don't even need your ATM password. The moment they have access to your SIM card, they can do anything they want to do with your bank account, because all they need is to generate an OTP, and the message, the OTP that is called one-time password, will be sent to that your SIM card, and with that they can do anything they want to do with your account. That is why people lose millions of their life savings simply because they lost their phone. By the side of this video, we'll be doing an illustration. You will see an illustration that talks on how you can password your SIM card. Now, the topic that we are here to discuss, passwording of SIM card. When you get a phone, pick that your phone now. See how you can password your SIM card. If you password your SIM card, by the time for any reason, your phone gets to the wrong hand, even if they remove your SIM card and insert on another phone, the first thing that you will get is a prompt that you should enter your SIM PIN. The moment they cannot get the SIM PIN, they cannot use your SIM card for anything. After the trial of 3, the POC prompt will come because the SIM card will be blocked, and you can only unblock that SIM card when you have the POC number. Some of us don't have our SIM pack because on the SIM pack it is written there the SIM PIN and the POC number. But because some of us don't have our SIM pack, I would advise you to quickly locate the nearest office of your service provider, be it Airtel, Globalcom or MTN. Approach them and request for your POC number. Once you've gotten your POC number, you follow these instructions and ensure that you password your SIM PIN. Your SIM PIN is very, very important. On my phone, for instance, once you turn off the phone and you turn it back on, you must enter your SIM PIN. If you cannot enter your SIM PIN, the SIM card will be useless. And I'm telling you, once they cannot have access to your SIM card, your money will be safely in the bank. They cannot have access to. There was a time I lost my phone, and it took me about 2 weeks to go to MTN office to retrieve my SIM card. Why did I wait 2 weeks? Because I knew I had a SIM PIN. I knew they would not have access to my bank account. I knew they cannot even use my SIM card for anything. Some of these people, when they steal phone, we'll be hoping that, we'll track the phone. Some of them don't even sell the phone. They will just condemn the phone and just get the SIM card to see if they can have your money. Please, they say a word is enough for the wise. It is very, very important. Don't see this video and just pass it by. Watch this video to the end. We're almost approaching the end of the video. Ensure that you take the lesson. Please password your SIM card. They say a stitch in time save 9. It's very, very important. Make haste when the sun shines. Not be to call. You don't have to start running and start saying, what do I do? What do I do? When you can prevent it. Let's not forget, prevention, they say, is better than cure. Thank you.
Atlantic TV, culturally inclined and uniquely different. Atlantic TV. Culturally inclined and uniquely different.
Don't miss out on exciting news, events, and more. Stay connected by following us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at Atlantic Media and TV.
When the lights go out, who do you call? Tikado! Tikado Energy Solutions Limited. Your plug for electrical power, surveillance system, and entertainment. From expert electrical installation to efficient eco-friendly solar inverter systems, no matter the size, Tikado delivers smart energy solutions designed for today and tomorrow. We also help you secure your space with our cutting-edge security and surveillance system. Enjoy crystal clear entertainment with our professional DSTV and cable TV installation. Visit Tikado today at Block F4, Suite 41 and 42, HFP East Line Plaza, Abraham Adesanya, Aja, Lagos. Or call 0906 902 5025 or 0815 176 6817. Explore our services at tikado.com.ng. Tikado Energy Solutions Limited. Power, protection, peace.
Hello, good day, and welcome to our daily news roundup right here on Atlantic TV. I am Nkechi Tekere. Here are our top stories. Nigerian embassies struggle with unpaid rent, salary arrears. Obasanjo, Africa needs transformational leaders to drive progress. Delta police smash robbery, drug rings in Ugeli, stolen vehicles, arms recovered. Tinubu proves critics wrong with inclusive leadership, says Lagos APC. UK crackdown. Foreign students want to leave before visa expiry. Osimhen's record move leads Nigerian stars' summer transfers. Now to the news in full. The federal government has admitted to severe financial and operational challenges confronting Nigeria's diplomatic and consular missions abroad. Budgetary shortfalls and recent foreign exchange policy changes have left many embassies grappling with unpaid salaries, overdue rents, and unsettled bills. In a statement issued on Monday, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs said the situation has disrupted smooth operations at various missions. Delays in paying locally recruited staff, foreign service allowances for home-based officers, and rent owed to landlords were highlighted as major concerns. The ministry stressed that the difficulties reflect Nigeria's broader economic realities and years of inadequate funding that have weakened the country's diplomatic capacity. It, however, assured that President Bola Tinubu's administration is taking decisive steps to resolve the situation. According to the ministry, special intervention funds have already been released, with over 80% disbursed to settle priority payments such as salaries, arrears, and service providers. A verification committee has also been set up to review debt claims and ensure transparency in disbursement. The ministry added that ongoing engagements with the Ministry of Finance and the Central Bank of Nigeria are expected to fast-track further allocations this week. Looking ahead, officials say work underway on the sustainable financial framework for Nigeria's foreign missions, one that aligns with the government's broader fiscal reforms for efficient resource management. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo has stressed the urgent need for committed and transformational leaders to drive Africa's progress and development. Speaking at the Olusegun Obasanjo Leadership Institute in Abeokuta during an executive syndicate class for top CEOs, Obasanjo said Africa can only move forward with leaders dedicated to infrastructure, human and capital development. He made the remarks while receiving Dr. Greg Mills, a visiting fellow at the University of Navarra and former national director of South Africa's Institute of International Affairs. Obasanjo, who chairs the governing board of OOLI, said transformational leadership must go beyond managing systems. It must inspire, motivate, and create bold policies that bring lasting change. Dr. Mills, drawing from his book, The Essence of Success, added that true leaders distinguish between tactical and strategic actions, balancing conviction, courage, communication, and compassion in pursuit of vision and progress. The Delta State Police Command says it has recorded major breakthroughs in its fight against crime in Ugeli and surrounding communities. Suspected armed robbers, drug dealers, and stolen vehicles were intercepted in separate operations. The Commissioner of Police, CP Olufemi Obaniwanda, told journalists in Ugeli that the recent deployment of the new area command is already yielding results. He assured residents that robbery, drug abuse, and other crimes will be drastically reduced. On August 26th, a 5-man armed gang robbed a man of his valuables, including phones, laptops, and a 65-inch television. Acting on intelligence, operatives arrested one Faith Perry with a stolen phone. She later led police to her boyfriend, Kelly Otobure, where more stolen items, including gaming consoles, were recovered. Further investigation led to the arrest of the gang leader Samson Ugbe, also known as Big Man, along with 2 stolen vehicles linked to robberies in Ogara and Oroye warehouse, where over 180 bags of rice were stolen. Meanwhile, in Afisere community, operatives arrested 52-year-old drug baroness Egbule Isioma alongside 3 apprentices. A raid on her residence uncovered over 355 bottles of codeine, hundreds of tramadol capsules, cannabis, and other illicit substances. Police described her as a major distributor of drugs in Ugeli. On August 24th, police also recovered 2 luxury vehicles, a Lexus RX 350 and a Mercedes-Benz GLK 350, traced to a robbery in Sapele. Suspect Igenebo John was caught attempting to sell them cheaply. Police spokesperson SP Bright Edafe says investigations are ongoing and all suspects will be charged to court soon. In another operation, 3 men, Henry Bernard, Justice Ayero, and Oho Ogbavomera, were arrested for snatching a motorcycle at gunpoint. Their confession led to the recovery of the arms, including a single-barrel gun, dagger, hacksaws, and other dangerous items. You're watching our daily news roundup. We'll go for a short break. When we return, more news stories to come.
Don't miss out on exciting news, events, and more. Stay connected by following us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at Atlantic Media and TV.
Welcome back. Now in Lagos State, the Lagos State chapter of the All Progressives Congress APC has hailed President Bola Tinubu for what it described as his unmatched commitment to inclusive governance and merit-based leadership. APC spokesman Sheye Oladejo, in a statement on Tuesday, said Tinubu's administration is raising the bar for participatory leadership in Nigeria. President Bola Tinubu is building a Nigeria where every citizen, regardless of tribe, tongue, or faith, feels seen, heard, and valued. He said his leadership proves unity is built not by slogans, but by shared opportunities and inclusive national planning. Oladejo noted that Tinubu's cabinet reflects gender balance, youth inclusion, and equitable representation across all 6 geopolitical zones. He added that the appointment of competent Nigerians from opposition parties, civil society, and the private sector showed governors under Tinubu is about progress, not partisanship. Oladejo further said Tinubu's decision to appoint young people under 40 into key roles demonstrates trust in their capacity to shape the nation's future, particularly in innovation-driven sectors such as technology, renewable energy, and the digital economy. From infrastructural projects to social programs targeting rural dwellers, women, people with disabilities, and underserved communities, inclusivity has become a deliberate strategy for national development. The People's Democratic Party and the Obedience Movement have taken aim at the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, after he dismissed talks of Peter Obi or former President Goodluck Jonathan emerging as the PDP's presidential candidate in 2027. While unconfirmed reports suggest that opposition leaders are considering Obi's return to the PDP, Wike has described such a move as a recipe for disaster, insisting that Obi once condemned the party as rotten. He argued that bringing Obi back would deepen the PDP's internal crisis, adding that former President Jonathan had moved on to a respected global statesman role and should not be dragged back into partisan politics. The PDP, however, has dismissed Wike's comments as divisive, while the Obedience Movement says Nigerians deserve broader political inclusion rather than attacks on individuals. The debate adds yet another layer of uncertainty to the opposition's strategy ahead of the 2027 general elections. The Lagos APC insists the president's governance style has silenced critics and is fostering unity, collaboration, and renewed public trust. The Nigeria Employers Consultative Association, NECA, says state governments no longer have any excuse to retain the 70,000 naira minimum wage, insisting that rising federal revenues should translate into improved welfare for workers. On a report in the podcast, NECA's Director General Adewale Smart Oyerinde argued that states must raise salaries to ease the impact of soaring food, transport and shelter costs. He stressed that workers are the key drivers of economic growth and productivity, and neglecting their welfare weakens both the public and private sectors. According to him, if you are hungry, without shelter, and struggling with transport, you cannot be productive at work. NECA added that improving workers' welfare is not just about increasing figures, but ensuring that salaries can truly meet household needs. The call comes as some states move to raise the minimum wage above the 70,000 naira national benchmark. President Bola Tinubu signed the Minimum Wage Act in July 2024, while states like Imo and Ebonyi have already announced increments, Imo raising its minimum wage to 104,000 naira. Nigerian importers may face higher costs this season after French shipping giant CMA CGM announced a new $500 peak season surcharge on cargo bound for Nigeria and other West African ports. The shipping line, in a statement on its website, said the surcharge applies to cargoes from Northeast Asia, Southeast Asia, China and Hong Kong and Macau SAR effective September 15, 2025, and will remain in force until further notice. The charge, pegged at $500 per 20-foot equivalent unit, affects both dry and reefer cargoes and is only for short-term contracts. Reacting to the development, former interim national president of the Association of Nigerian Licensed Customs Agents, Mr. Pius Ujubonu, describes the surcharge as exploitative. He blames the Nigerian Shippers Council for failing to take decisive steps to protect importers from such extra costs. Kwara State's Governor Abdul Rahman Abdul Rasak has commended President Bola Tinubu's decision to ban the exportation of raw shea butter, describing it as a policy that will strengthen Nigeria's local value chain and create jobs. The governor spoke ahead of the launch of a 50-ton shea butter processing factory in Kayama, Kwara North, the second largest in the country and the biggest owned by a state government. Abdul Rasak explained that the facility will stimulate economic activities, provide jobs for women farmers and pickers, and ensure local ownership of the benefits. He added that the project represents full integration from sourcing raw materials to processing and market access, while reducing post-harvest losses. Kwara North is home to over 250,000 shea nut trees across 6,000 hectares of land, making it a major hub for shea production in Nigeria. You're watching our daily news roundup. We'll go for yet another break. More news stories when we return.
My name is Desoka, the comedy catalyst of one of Nigerian comedy.
All right, guys, back again. Yes, boss. My name is Osh Baby.
CME Alade.
Yeah, what up, people? It's your boy Victor 80.
Girl Niniola.
My name is my wife and just celebrity type man.
My papa say, who won't carry cow, waka go, waka follow the cow. I know the life for you.
As you know, you're watching the Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV. Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV.
Informative, educative, interesting, entertaining.
Worldwide, international.
Don't go anywhere, I'll catch you.
Don't touch that die. Atlantic TV. Boom.
Atlantic TV. We wanna party.
Atlantic TV. Culturally inclined and uniquely different.
Welcome back. Now on the foreign scene. The United Kingdom has issued a stern warning to foreign students: leave the country once your visa expires or face forced removal. The Home Office says it is intensifying efforts to curb what it described as a troubling rise in student visa holders attempting to remain in the UK by seeking asylum. The government has launched a first-of-its-kind campaign contacting students directly via text and email. Authorities say overstaying after studies will no longer be tolerated. According to official data, about 16,000 asylum applications last year came from people who originally entered the UK on student visas, raising alarm in Whitehall. If you have no legal rights to remain in the UK, you must leave. If you don't, we will remove you. So far, around 10,000 students whose visas are nearing expiry have already been contacted, with an additional 130,000 expected to receive warnings in the coming months, coinciding with the autumn intake period. Home Secretary Yvette Cooper stressed that Britain will support genuine refugees, but warned against abusing the asylum system. She added that the surge in student claims is putting additional strain on housing and hotel facilities. Away from that now to sports news. From Osimhen's record-breaking move to Turkey to Iheanacho's deadline day drama, Nigerian footballers made headlines in the just concluded 2025 summer transfer window. The transfer season saw Super Eagles and Super Falcons players spread their wings across Europe and beyond. The biggest news came from Victor Osimhen, who sealed a £75 million move from Napoli to Galatasaray, the most expensive signing in Turkish football history. Other key transfers include Wilfred Ndidi's £9.5 million switch to Besiktas after Leicester's relegation, Moses Simon's £7 million move to Paris FC, and Samuel Chukwueze's late window deal that kept fans on the edge. The 2025 transfer window may be closed, but with Nigerian stars spread across top leagues, the spotlight now shifts to their performances on the pitch. On the other hand, Victor Boniface also completed a loan move to Werder Bremen, while Kelechi Iheanacho and Emmanuel Dennis were involved in last-minute negotiations on deadline day. In women's football, Super Falcons striker Asisat Oshoala led the way with a high-profile switch to the United States, underlining Nigeria's growing impact on the global stage. Manchester City have completed the signing of Italian goalkeeper Gianluigi Donnarumma from Paris Saint-Germain in a deal worth around €35 million. The 26-year-old, who helped PSG win the Champions League last season and was part of Italy's Euro 2020 triumph, has penned a 5-year deal at the Etihad. He replaces Ederson, who departs for Fenerbahce after 8 successful years in Manchester. Donnarumma described joining City as a proud moment, saying he is excited to work under Pep Guardiola and be part of a world-class squad. City's director of football, Hugo Viana, hailed the signing as a major boost, citing the goalkeeper's pedigree and wealth of experience at the top level. And with that sports news, we come to the end of our daily news roundup for today, right here on Atlantic TV. Make sure you follow us on all our social media platforms for more updates. Thank you so much for watching. I am Nkechi Tejere. Have a good day.
Don't miss out on exciting news, events, and more. Stay connected by following us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at Atlantic Media and TV.
Atlantic TV. Culturally inclined, uniquely different. Atlantic TV. Culturally inclined and uniquely different.
I am SP Dafebright and this is Delta State Police Command. Today we'll be treating and addressing an issue that's different from what we've been doing before, not parading suspect this time, but bringing to you a very important information. Do we know that over 85% of Nigerians do password their phones, whether it's Android phones or iPhones? There's always a password. But how come when we lose our phones, by the time we go to retrieve our lines, we go to our bank to check our bank statement, we discover that these people who collected these phones must have siphoned the phones. Now, there are times the people who steal these phones, it is not your phone that they actually need. What they need is your SIM card. Now, how does the SIM card become useful to them? Not just any SIM card, but a SIM card that is linked to your bank account, the one that you usually use to receive SMS alerts. That is what they need. Now, by the time they collect your phone, steal your phone, rob you of your phone, what they do is that they remove this SIM card from your phone and insert it on another phone. So your phone does not really need to power on. They don't even need you to give them your phone password. They don't even need your ATM password. The moment they have access to your SIM card, they can do anything they want to do with your bank account, because all they need is to generate an OTP, and the message, the OTP that is called one-time password, will be sent to that your SIM card, and with that they can do anything they want to do with your account. That is why people lose millions of their life savings simply because they lost their phone. By the side of this video, we'll be doing an illustration. You will see an illustration that talks on how you can password your SIM card. Now, the topic that we are here to discuss, passwording of SIM card. When you get a phone, pick that your phone now. See how you can password your SIM card. If you password your SIM card, by the time for any reason your phone gets to the wrong hand, even if they remove your SIM card and insert on another phone, the first thing that you will get is a prompt that you should enter your SIM PIN. The moment they cannot get the SIM PIN, they cannot use your SIM card for anything. After the trial of 3, the POC prompt will come because the SIM card will be blocked, and you can only unblock that SIM card when you have the POC number. Some of us don't have our SIM pack because on the SIM pack it is written there the SIM PIN and the POC number. But because some of us don't have our SIM pack, I would advise you to quickly locate the nearest office of your service provider, be it Airtel, Globalcom or MTN. Approach them and request for your POC number. Once you've gotten your POC number, you follow these instructions and ensure that you password your SIM PIN. Your SIM PIN is very, very important. On my phone, for instance, once you turn off the phone and you turn it back on, you must enter your SIM PIN. If you cannot enter your SIM PIN, the SIM card will be useless. And I'm telling you, once they cannot have access to your SIM card, your money will be safely in the bank. They cannot have access to. There was a time I lost my phone, and it took me about 2 weeks to go to MTN office to retrieve my SIM card. Why did I wait 2 weeks? Because I knew I had a SIM PIN. I knew they would not have access to my bank account. I knew they cannot even use my SIM card for anything. Some of these people, when they steal phone, we'll be hoping that, we'll track the phone. Some of them don't even sell the phone. They will just condemn the phone and just get the SIM card to see if they can have your money. Please, they say a word is enough for the wise. It is very, very important. Don't see this video and just pass it by. Watch this video to the end. We're almost approaching the end of the video. Ensure that you take the lesson. Please password your SIM card. They say a stitch in time save 9. It's very, very important. Make haste when the sun shines. Not be to come. You don't have to start running and start saying, what do I do? What do I do? When you can prevent it. Let's not forget, prevention, they say, is better than cure. Thank you.
Atlantic TV, culturally inclined and uniquely different.
On Atlantic TV. I am Mercy Erabo and I have with me Michael Gopadia. And together we're talking about all the trending issues on the internet and of course give our opinions about them. And for our first gist today, so I saw this disturbing video online on the internet that has really got netizens talking. What is this video about? We saw officials of Enugu Air forcefully disembarking a passenger from the plane, and this is, I don't know if it's a new normal, but let's take a quick look at the video. So I think this is becoming a new normal for flight officials to harass passengers. It's becoming something else, Mr. Michael. What do you say? What do you think? I'm thinking that we had issue about the comforts, Emerson, that we are just still dealing with. I'm not sure we're done with that. And now we are having to deal with this again. It's becoming so terrible, Mr. Michael.
Well, anyway, you're right about it, and it's really becoming a misnomer and a norm that we're having such cases. When you have or you record about 3 cases in less than a month, then there's every reason for you to be concerned. And that's why I wish the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace, Festus Keyamo, should call for a stakeholders meeting. And in calling for that very meeting, I will wish there is not just letting those aviation workers know what needs to be done, especially as they confront some unruly customers, but also to let the general public also understand that they should be of best conduct, especially when it comes to taking flights, because, you know, the life of every person is important. And when you have unruly passengers doing what they need not to do, well, it gives every reason for concern. But I feel there should be more of understanding. There should be sensitization, there should be workshop, there should be training for those handling the aviation sector, especially as it concerns those boarding and all those that work on this place.
Yeah.
It's really important, and I feel it's something that needs to be done.
Yeah, incidents like this tend to remind us of the importance of professionalism and respect on both sides. That is the side of the passengers and also the staff. At least everybody wants to just travel peacefully and safely. So all of this, we need to reduce it to the barest minimum because it's becoming so terrible. But that's that for that. So let's see what we have again. I saw this very emotional story about this Nollywood star, Eukaria Anunobi. So she shared the story of losing her only son, I think that's the only child, to sickle cell at age 17. And this is really heartbreaking. And it also tells the importance of knowing one's genotype before thinking of marriage or thinking of settling down. Mr. Michael, what do you think about this?
Well, yes, it's a sad one, and you know, my heart goes out. Losing a child, whether it's 10 years back, it's 2 years back, it's happening now, is something that gives every mother or even every parent that pain anytime you remember.
Yeah.
And I understand her, she's a great actress. She was a shining light as it concerns actress way back in the early 2000s. And well, it's just more of an advice, especially as it concerns those persons that are intending to get married. We know some churches do that. It's a thing of more that you go check your genocide to know if you are both compatible or not. But in recent time, we're beginning more scaled down, especially as it concerns that many persons seem to throw this to caution, throw it to the wind without checking that it's really terrible. There's no cure for sickle cell anemia. I lost a colleague and also a friend just 2 years back to this, and I'll just pray that more persons should be more persons should be responsible, especially as it concerns partners.
Talking about churches, I feel churches might try to do their best, but what if these persons are already blinded by love? I am in love with this person, and even when the church is telling you, you can't continue with this wedding, you have to cancel this wedding because the both of you are not compatible. But some persons, they don't think about that, they just feel like, love, we are in love, But the truth is, love cannot cure sickle cell. And then when you have this child, you don't have to be selfish. Think about the trauma and everything that this child will go through. Please, let's take this genotype thing so serious, because it's a very, very important issue. We don't want to have more of sickle cell. We already have a lot of them, and we don't want to keep having more. At least this modern world that we are checking, back then we feel our parents don't even check their genotype and all of that.
And you know, Messi, the disturbing thing is, like you said, some say, well, I love him, I love her, I feel our love will stand, it will work strong. But let me just really emphasize this. There's always a thin line between love and hate.
Yeah.
There's always a thin line. When the stress of taking care of a sickle cell baby, child comes in, it will definitely wither, it will break down that love that both of you have. It will be too much for both of you to handle. And like I said, there's always a thin line between love and hate. Hatred will come in, frustration will come in, setback will come in, and the whole lot of pain bringing that child into the world will definitely rattle that very relationship. So
yes,
what do you need going through all of that?
Even the Eucharia, she actually said that this sickle cell issue ruined her marriage. It ruined her marriage, and she was left to take care of her career. I'm sure one time you noticed.
She was off. Yeah, she was off.
So she said she had to pause her career because of all of this. So this whole love thing, I don't know how to proceed of do, but I think we need to take this issue very, very, very serious. So that's that. And then I saw this very bold statement, Mr. Michael, from the African's richest man.
Okay.
He said that he didn't actually inherit anything. He built his wealth from scratch. Well, I'm not the one saying it. Let's hear from the horse's mouth.
My late great-grandfather in the 1940s was actually the richest, West African. My late grandfather was one of the wealthiest Nigerian. The family name is Dentata. That's from my maternal side. My father too, was fairly rich, but he was both, in business and also in politics. But David, one thing that I'm very, very proud of is that I did not inherit any money from my father. I built everything from scratch to where I am. Well, he left in the will, but, whatever that I inherited from him, which means in assets, I gave that on to charity since then. Right. I started work with my, uncle, but there's few months, and then I went to Lagos, and now I started my own business by just, buying cement, selling. It was just a very low-key business. Right. The issue is that when you look at cement, cement is what builds infrastructure. And we need a lot of infrastructural deficit. In Nigeria alone, we have about 17,000 deficit of housing. And it is all over in, Africa. So when we started cement in Nigeria,
saying that, imagine coming from a rich home and I'm saying, I did not inherit anything from my parents. I actually built everything from scratch. But Mr. Michael, talking about not inheriting anything, the truth is you inherited connections. You said you started buying and reselling cement. Who were you selling the cement to? The same connections that you've gotten through your family. So in as much as you didn't inherit wealth, which I was not there, but the truth is you inherited connection. And we also heard that the uncle Dantata loaned him about 3.5 million as at then. You know what is 3.5 million, Mr. Michael?
Well, 3.5 million or 4 million or 5 million. The important thing is you inherit rich uncles. So Mercy, I will plead with everybody. If you are coming to this world a second time, if you come, make sure you are from a very wealthy, well-connected family. But irrespective of that, whether you're from a wealthy family, you got loans from whoever, if you are still going to mismanage it, you will still mismanage and run into debt and will not be the richest man on the planet. So whether we like it or not, his hard work paid at the end. He took that money, irrespective of whether he got it or not, used it to do what he needs to do, and today he's the richest black man, not in Nigeria alone, not in West Africa, but on the globe.
The truth is, these rich people, people will be making us feel like we're actually not trying our best. We're trying our best. Please don't let these people intimidate you.
Don't blame us, we rich people. Don't blame us. That's what we do. So don't blame us.
Okay, so Mr. Michael has joined that clique now. So they are part of the people making
I
us
saw
feel
that
like.
last when we had
Okay, you
the
did.
meeting.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you can see they are part of the people making us feel like we are not trying our best. See, you're doing enough. Don't let anybody intimidate you. You're trying your best. Imagine you that don't have any connection. You're just trying to build yourself. Please, don't get depressed with all of this whole thing you're seeing on the internet. I did this, I did that. Oh, you're trying your best. So that's it. So you know, I usually take this stroll on the internet as usual, and I'm always coming across things. So I saw this particular thing saying that marriages amongst the uneducated last longer than that of the educated ones. And it really got me thinking, Mr. Michael. So let's see the picture. Yes, marriages between uneducated people last longer than educated people. Why? Yes, why, Mr. Michael?
Because they don't claim their right.
Okay.
And the women are always very submissive.
So are you saying the uneducated ones don't know their rights?
No, they don't claim their rights.
Okay, they know, they don't claim.
Yeah.
Okay.
They know their rights. The uneducated ones know their rights, but they don't claim their right. But the educated one knows their right, claim their right, and claim the right of their husbands. So that's where the problem lies.
Okay,
but
now I don't like the fact that we are talking about uneducated people, not uneducated women versus educated women.
I'm just standing for the men.
Okay,
so we are talking about
let's
the men.
generalize it.
Okay, let's generalize it. Men will always prefer women that are, they could still also have that confidence, but they still know who is in charge. And sometimes the uneducated ones seem to understand that. That, well, I rather met somebody that said he married a lady, he's more educated than her though. And the way she treats him like the king, because she's happy, he's educated. When she serves him food on the table, she kneels down and says, "Oh, my king, your food is ready." Even up to the bathroom, on the mind they have a shower, sometimes she put the soaps there and everything is ready. And that's interesting. And that
who says
that
the
argument
educated
doesn't
woman?
come up.
Who says the educated woman would not do the same?
Okay, now let me ask you.
Okay.
How many times have you seen the educated woman that has all her fingernails well done would end up washing your boxers?
The truth is, being a nice woman, it's not about your long suffering. I don't know why Nigerian men tend to take it like this suffer head thing is one of the best characteristics of a good woman. The truth is, we have washing machine, Mr. Michael. So do I have to wash your clothes to show you that I am actually a good woman? No, we have washing machine. I can just throw your clothes there.
I like the way you say true.
Yes, throw them in, wash them, dry them, and then no, not respect. It has nothing to do with respect. And the truth is, you don't have to. Okay, imagine some person saying how many girls of nowadays would grind pepper with grinding stone
and cook jollof rice with firewood.
Like
it's always so
that
sweet.
is suffer head.
Oh, okay.
It's suffer head. We have gas. So why should I try to impress you by going to make fire outside?
We miss our mommy's food, and our mommies show love. If our mommy used to cook with firewood, what stops our wife from using
I want to ask you something, Mr. Michael. So grinding with grinding stone, I feel it's because the pepper is not supposed to be too smooth, right? That's why they say grinding stone still tastes better than the blender on and all of that. So my question is, if I can use my blender to roughly blend the same pepper in the particular texture I want, won't it come out as nice as the grinding stone pepper?
And give us a peck and say, "My king."
Mr. Michael, the truth is, I don't think education is has any stand in this case. Just marry
let's
a
look at
good
it.
woman.
Those days,
a good man.
the divorce rates were minimal.
Okay.
But now, because of education, the divorce rate is... Nigeria has one of the highest divorce rates on the continent.
Okay.
But those days,
divorce
was... Yeah, because I feel education has made women and men feel, or rather, because I'm talking from the side of the men, makes women feel that liberal, giving them, oh yes, I can't take this, I can't take that from a woman, I'm educated, look at my class. And once you start having that mentality, two captains can never run a boat.
What you men really want is woman that you can just keep stepping on their heads.
Oh, come on.
That's what you want, not a perfect woman. You're not looking for a perfect woman. You just want somebody that you would control. You tell her, go this way, and she goes this way. You don't need somebody that would checkmate you.
To give us where they said, woman be submissive to your husband. I'll bleed with him later on.
Woman,
to give us that
be
very
submissive
verse.
to your husband, and husband, love and respect
Your uneducated wife. Yes, that's right. That's right.
So the truth is, it's not about education. That is my own stand right now. It's not about education. Just marry a good woman. And you to think that even the educated men, don't you think they also have their own issues?
Oh, well, now
so it's always about the women.
Now we are talking.
So it's always about the women.
Now we are talking.
Don't you think the educated men too have issues?
So that's where we are.
They actually have issues because they feel they know too much. No, I know too much. A woman is not supposed to do this.
So now we know why the uneducated marriages are lasting longer.
The truth is, education or no education, marry a good partner. Be it a woman or a man, just marry a good partner. So that is it. So, and then I saw this something very, very sweet online. Mama Bona, she marked 35 years in marriage yesterday.
To Papa Bona.
So Papa Bona, as in that is, imagine having 35 years of marriage in this modern world, Mr. Michael.
Wow,
that's a lot. Look at this cute pictures, and to think that she's not just Mama Bona, she's also the manager of Bona. So this woman is actually a strong woman, and she's able to blend the entertainment industry and also her home. And just imagine, just look at this.
Well, this is more like acknowledging success. Success on the stand of managing your child's world, managing your home, and not having rivalry or having that disconnect between them. You know, that's the beautiful thing of having a woman that really understands what marriage is.
Yes.
I could still remember when they had an interview with late Okonjo Iweala.
Yeah.
Then she was DG of NAFDAC. She came to say even when she gets home, she's the one that prepares her husband food. And that's interesting. So she balances work and also what she needs to do at home. And once I feel you can keep a very good way of balancing it, marriage will definitely work. So congratulations to Papa and Mama Bona.
Congratulations to one strong woman that I know in the entertainment industry. And talking about strong women, we also have another strong woman that is celebrating her birthday today. Who are we talking about? We are talking about Mrs. Adiele. Mama NK, look at this pretty under 16.
Now I know where she got her beauty from.
I need to sing this song.
Now I know why NK got her beauty from.
Birthday. Yeah, happy birthday. Oh, and happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Hallelujah.
Congratulations, man.
Happy birthday, Mama NK. We love you. We celebrate you. Bringing Madam NK. Nkechi Sejiri is my name. I think you know her. You should know her. So that's a beautiful mom right there. So we're wishing her a happy birthday, long life and prosperity. And I know this time next year we'll also be giving her a shout out, but maybe we'll be having some cake here. Happy birthday once again, Mama NK. Well, Mr. Michael, do you have anything to say to her?
Congratulations, ma'am, and we're really happy with you, and we wish you nothing but long life and a whole lot of God's blessing and prosperity as you enjoy your day, and many more happy years are to come. Definitely, that's what we wish you right here on Atlantic TV, and indeed we wish that is well deserved, knowing that, well, our colleague is indeed a blessing, and a blessing you have brought to this world.
All right, so a celebration in the air. So I think this is where we have to wrap up, so we could go for the main birthday for the enjoyment.
Don't tell them yet.
So this is where we have to wrap up on Trending on Viewpoint on Atlantic TV today. See you tomorrow for another exciting episode on Trending. Once again, I am Mercy Irabo.
And I am Michael Gobadia. We're indeed wrapping it up today on that very happy note. And all we will tell you is just still remain with Atlantic TV because more lovely programs to come your way. And do remember, we'll have another lovely edition of Viewpoint come tomorrow. So don't go anywhere. Just stick around and still remain on the station. God bless you. Bye for now.
My name is Desoka, the comedy catalyst of one of Nigerian comedy.
Alright guys, back again, yes boss, my name is Osh Baby.
Yemi Alade.
Yeah, what up people, it's your boy Victor 80.
Girl Niniola.
My name is my wife Niger celebrity type man.
My papa say, who won't carry cow, waka go, waka follow the cow. I know the life for you.
As you know, you're watching the Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV. Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Keep watching Atlantic TV.
Atlantic TV.
Informative, educative, interesting, entertaining.
Worldwide, international.
Don't go anywhere, I'll catch you.
Don't touch that die. Atlantic TV. Boom.
Atlantic TV, we wanna party.
Atlantic TV. Culturally inclined and uniquely different.